Express yourself live on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Today is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and Bahamians. We are so delighted to be on air today. We have our share of problems, but we can solve all of our problems. Let me repeat that. We can solve all of our problems at the community level, at the constituency level, at the island level, at the inter-island level, at the national level, and we can have good relationships with other nations. Now, we don't have to agree with everything that they do. The Holy Bible, which is the written word of God, and the Constitution of the Colony of Bahamas, that's all you need. You don't need nothing more than that. Every single problem can be solved. Remember what I told you last July the 8th? I haven't forgotten, you know. And you challenged me and say, Professor, what can we do? Well, I told you what we could start with. I'm interested in working on the ground. And if you're not doing anything, I still can be on the ground working with people who are prepared to do something positive in this nation. And you know I'm involved in this major national problem, a constitutional matter. I'll be calling on your support for that as well. Bahamians, this is May 1. It is time to work. We've already lost 4 months in the year. It is time that we get up off do nothing seat, Bahamians. We've been sitting for too long. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't complain if you have problems, but let's start solving the problems, Bahamians. Less complaining, more action in solving a problem. That's why I said to you, give me 18 months. Give Professor Sidney Walter Thompson 18 months to solve one major constituency problem that you would choose now. You got to pick the one you say you won't work with. And give me a righteous team. First, 18 months, time span. 2, a righteous team of persons, because the scripture says when the righteous are in authority. So you can't give it to no other people now. Because we have to call on you for your support, Bahamians. We want the thing to work. 18 months down the road, Professor Thompson could say, this is the problem that was solved in this particular constituency. These are the clear-cut benefits that come to that particular constituency as a result of that one major constituency problem having been solved. That's what I'm talking about, solutions. I'm talking about what you're trying to do, because that don't mean a crap. Trying to do is not good enough. People are dying in this country. People have sacrificed heavily for a better country, and they're not getting that. You know what we do? We watch what other people are doing. We're so busy watching what, excuse me, what other people are doing. We even forget what we are supposed to be doing, Bahamians. I don't want to get consumed in what watching other people do. Bahamians, I want to wake. Just give me my 18 months. That's all I ask you for, 18 solid months on the ground. One major constituency problem. Number 3. Number 1, 18 months. Number 2, righteous group or numbers of people. We can find some righteous people in every constituency. So I don't want to talk no foolishness in my ass. Because God says when the righteous are in authority, you can't give the work to anybody and everybody to do it. It will people around here talking foolishness and nonsense. Number 3, 51% or more of you living in that particular constituency. Now, this point is very important, Bahamians, because you got to monitor the thing. You can't leave the door wide open for the devil to come in and take over. Is that what you want? 51% or more of the people living in that particular constituency. Some may be working in that particular constituency and living in it. Must become righteous in their dealings one with another. Do you understand how important that is for constituency continuity in righteousness? I heard another talk show host telling his audience to try righteousness. You got to give righteousness a chance, Bahamian. You haven't done it in 52 years. You got to start doing it today, May 1. God says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. If you want to see rejoicing in these particular constituencies, that's what you do. That means when the time comes, you must have a righteous person in that parliamentary seat for your particular constituency. And there's a way to do it, Bahamians. I didn't say a party personality. I ain't talking about that. Because you could be in St. Barnabas Church and still work to BTC, and when you go to BTC doesn't ask you how you all doing in St. Barnabas Church. And yet they never get it mixed up. The man been going to the Barnabas Church for 30 years. He's been working to BTC for 30 years, and he never got the two mixed up. He knows when to go to St. Barnabas Church. He knows when to go to BTC. And there's never an argument over that. That's why I draw the simple analogy to get you to understand what we ought to be doing according to Article 24(1) of your Constitution. You have not been protecting your interests for the last 52 years. You know why? Because you've sat down and you've allowed people to come in to tell you what they're going to do for you. That's foolishness. Do not let any particular candidate come and tell you, I can do this for you in your constituency. You've been there for more than 30 years and you don't know your own constituency. Give me a break, man. What kind of nonsense is that? You ought to tell anyone who wants to represent you what it is you want to see in your constituency. That's the way it's supposed to be. You mean to tell me constituents cannot organize themselves when Article 24(1) says they can? For the protection of their interests, it seems like for 52 years, you people don't even know what your interest is. Because every time you look around, there is just one hell of a suffering going on all over the place. That's why the talk show host, I agree with that talk show host, who told his audience, give righteousness a chance. I've been telling you that a long time. But you need to find righteous persons to work with, Bahamians. You can't just pick any and everybody. See, when you ask me, what can you do? I thought about it very seriously. And everything is constitutionally sound. Let me make that very clear. If anything Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson has anything to do with, it must be constitutionally sound. You've had particular personalities wanting to represent you, and they are not constitutionally sound. They don't even know what the Constitution is. But you let them be your representative. And they throw all kind of crap on top of you. For 52 long years. Payments, what kind of people are we? How could we allow people to put crap on top of us for 52 consecutive years and we ain't wake up yet? Come on, Bahamians. This is May 1st. I heard them on the air. We're talking about May Day, May 1. I think it was 1940. Bahamians, we got to wake up, man. Come on, man. I don't like what I see, I don't like these useless arguments, Bahamians. We must look at what's going on, one, in the constituency, because different constituencies have different problems. They got constituency problems right in Centerville. See, I live in Centerville. Centerville has major constituency problems that have been lingering for years and have not been dealt with yet. So Centerville ain't no different from Pinewood Gardens. And we ain't got no flooding problems in Fort Wayne Castle, I can tell you that. I don't expect to see any flooding there. But I will tell you, there are areas on the island of New Providence where there was no flooding for decades. Now the people are finding out that their areas are getting flooded. Did you hear what I tell you, Bahamians? Something has gone wrong with that. There ain't gonna be none in Fort Wayne Castle, I can tell you that. Even if there be flooding in other parts of the constituency, and they do have flooding in those parts of the constituency, but you got to fix it. If you have interest in yourself, in your children, in your community, then do something about it. And I've told you repeatedly on this radio station, if you don't know how to organize yourselves, say, Professor, I don't know how to do it. You mean you're too big to admit that you can't do it? Come on, Bahamians, what kind of people are we? But yet you say you're supposed to be intelligent, you're supposed to be smart, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, but you cannot get together on the ground right in your own constituency. You know what I told you all last July the 8th? I said, listen, talk to the fellow right next door to you. Talk all of them on that same street where you are. Then go across the road and talk to all of those people across the road from where you live. Then have all of them communicate with each other on both sides of the street. That's where you start, Bahamians. Should that be difficult? It takes you almost a year to do just that simple thing. Come on, man. I'm very upset about that. No wonder why we had nothing done in 52 years. Because you ain't doing nothing, Bahamians. And it's getting worse. Now, remember I gave you that court case number yesterday. I want you to call Chief Justice Ian Winder and appeal to him to please use his good office to get that case, that major landmark case, before the Supreme Court. This is May, you know. April done finished. Now you got May and June. So we got to get that case started this month, but not past next month. But let's ask him. We want to be nice to the Chief Justice. He said he's head of justice. God have him there to perform justice for the Bahamian people. Well, we can test the water, you know. We can see just what kind of Chief Justice he is. We're going to see what kind of judges sit on that Supreme Court bench. We're going to see what kind of judges sit on the appeals court bench. We ain't got to worry about the Privy Council. Anybody do foolishness here? Well, no problem. We have been through this crap for 52 years. And the governor of the Bahamas didn't tell you the kind of money they paid out with the people's money now, not their personal money, the people's money, doing foolishness and nonsense and spending big money with no positive results for the Bahamian people. Do you understand how serious that is? But they ain't come out and tell you publicly that's what went down. I didn't do it. We had to go and dig it up, Bahamians. That's how we know. You can do the same thing. They've been trying to use scraps of paper which have no legal authority, which have no constitutional authority, to try to put their case forth. Okay, no problem. Go ahead and do it. We just want them to give us justice. That's why we appeal to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Let's see how much of a Chief Justice he is. Because Bahamians, this is no time to be playing, you know. This is serious business. The very lives of the Bahamian people are being interrupted with all kind of foolishness and nonsense happening in the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and its agencies. All kind of foolishness going on. The evidence is overwhelming. Just check your newspapers. See how they rowing and fighting in the house? They've been doing that for 52 years. You want more of that kind of crap? You want them kind of people to keep representing you and your constituency just falling right into the ground? Is that what you want? Both of those parties have had representation, the government of the Bahamas, in opposition seats. They had massive landslide of seats. Look at the last two elections, 35-4 under Dr. Minnis, 32-7 under Mr. Davis, Mr. Philip Brave Davis, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis. Nothing stopping them from changing these things that are hurting the Bahamian people. All they got to do is go in the house and do it. They could sit straight for 3 months and get the thing done. So it ain't that they didn't have the number of seats to do it. They had the majority of seats all the time, both sides. But you had them talking foolishness in the House yesterday. While you, as the citizens of this country, the electorate, listen to this crap going on for 52 consecutive years. Baby, that's a lot of wasted time. And all we got is a bunch of problems, issues that need attention. Then they can come back and say they can handle this, they can handle that. Handle what? Then you got some other fellas to say, boy, give us a chance and we could do it. You don't give nobody no chance, Bahamians. Don't make that mistake. Never again make the mistake of choosing a political party and giving them such a massive majority of seats in the House of Assembly. You'll get the same results that you've been getting for 58 years since majority rule. It can be nothing different. That's carnal nature, man. They have refused to change some things that are working against us in the system we have today. Nothing to do with the Constitution now, because they don't even listen to the Constitution. When they think they have a point, they run to the Constitution. You got to watch them, you know. And then you see them now, as someone brought to my attention, they're picking up a couple of people who are supposed to be charged for illegal immigrants and that kind of thing and putting them before the courts. The cabinet needs to be put before the court. The government of the Bahamas need to put before the court. That's why we need the Chief Justice to move on this case. They're the real culprits. These are only underlings, unknown underlings. That's all they are. The real culprits, the cabinet, the immigration board, the government of the Bahamas, the Parliament of the Bahamas. Maybe that's the culprits. Now, who they answer to, I don't know nothing about that. But I know you send them there to do your national affairs. You gave them all this power. See, you gave them plenty power. And you can't get nothing straight. Maybe we got to stop doing foolishness and listen and learn quickly, because our country is sinking badly, Bahamians. The international community doesn't think too well about us as a nation. They ain't gonna say, boy, them PLP fellas. No. They ain't gonna say Bahamians. So everywhere you go and you travel, people that use Bahamians, they look at you with a squinted eye because of the wickedness that's occurring in here. That's why. And those in authority don't seem to want to do anything about these wicked things that are occurring in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That means we got to fix it. That's why I say you got to help your government. And there are plenty of things you and I can do. So I can tell you what some things we can do. I told you last July the 8th, 18 months. Choose one major constituency problem in that constituency. Let's knock it out in 18 months. Because I want to tell the people what happened in 18 months. You think I just say that just to say it? No. You have to tell them what the problem was that was solved and what are the benefits that come to them, because there are benefits when a problem is solved. And the people will enjoy those benefits. Then we'll tell them now, go and elect a righteous person to be in that seat. Because you see, these people don't understand nothing. The ones you got, they don't understand nothing. Don't understand what it means to solve problems, Bahamians. I heard the speaker say this is the people's house. She's correct. The people want solutions to their problems. She was correct on that. I think Mr. Producer got to find that tape so I can put that on air. Mr. Producer, you might want to look that up. The point is, it's the people's house. But they say that's theirs. Them who's sitting in there say that's their house. That ain't the people's house. That's why they're rowing and carrying back and forth, talking crap. And you, as the real bosses in the country, got to listen to this foolishness. You think you should put up with this nonsense? You don't have to put up with it. You could remove it today. Are you ready for that, Bahamians? Are you ready to do some unusual constitutional action? You're ready for that. I know you're not ready. Are you ready for a constitutional rally? I can put some things out to you today. Are you ready for a constitutional rally? You know what kind of numbers we need for a constitutional rally? 50,000 and up. Anything less than that, you're playing games. You ain't serious about that. I can test you on that, you know. I can see if you're really serious about the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, because that's your salvation document. You ain't got nothing else. Ain't this crap of paper where they keep coming up every 5 years. You think that could do anything for you? It has done nothing for you in 52 years. And they always come back, say, give us some more time. They didn't even did what they claimed they were supposed to do for you. Just like this crew here we got here right now, talking about they need more time. We've given them their 5 years. Well, in their 4th year, going into their 5th year. That's the time, right? And they knew that in advance. You only got 5 years. That's your time. And even if you do everything you say you would do, the people could still say, I'll kick your backside out because I don't want you there for the next 5. The people have a right to do it. No matter how good you think you are, you could do every single thing in the book and do it right, and people could say, I don't want you for the next 5 years. They have every constitutional right to do it. You're not obligated to a government because they got paid handsomely to do the crap they're doing right now. and still no problems have been solved. But they talking about they want another 5 years. Give me a break, Bahamians. What kind of crap is this? You ain't do what you claim you put in your little book. And what was the speech from the throne? What you say you're supposed to do, and you didn't do it. Now they say they want another 5 years. Give me a break, Bahamians. Give me a break! What kind of nonsense is this? But yet you people sit right there and allow these people to put all this crap on top of you. And you never ask the right questions. I listen to the questions on these shows, you know. I don't bother to call in anymore because I say, something, I don't want to waste my time. Mind you, they bring up some good comments from time to time. I heard one was talking about the Constitution. There is no future in this country with those who have violated it for 52 years. You could forget about them. No future with them because they have shown you over and repeatedly they ain't checking for no Constitution. But you keep giving them all this broad power, all this tremendous authority, and they keep knocking you down. That's why the country is all messed up today. Instead of you ask the right questions, you asking all kind of other funny things. Bahamians, a government is put in place to solve national problems. And if they can't do that, you get rid of them. It's just as simple as that, Bahamians. You have constituents. You got a representative in there to deal with the constituency problem. The representative can't do it. You get rid of the representative. Just as simple as that. You need no doctorate degree to understand that. So why you want to keep giving people who can't do nothing for you power over and over and over and over again? That don't make no sense. That's insanity. I had some people talking about treason. I can deal with that at another time. Because just taking the power back, because it's yours anyhow. You have every right to take it back. Even today you could take it back. You know that, Bahamian? Right now, today, May 1, you could take it today. You ain't got to wait for tomorrow. I bet you, man, if you didn't know that. Constitutionally, you can take it back. Do you understand that? Payment, you all need to wake up. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson. Some things I can say can be very strong today. Because Bahamians, I see us sliding down the cliff into an abyss. And we don't want to get in the abyss because we might be able to get out. The lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. We need solutions to national problems. We need solutions to constituency problems. We need solutions to inter-island problems. And they ain't getting none. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Calling all
be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM Bahamians. This is a great country that God has given us. We need to protect it, Bahamians. And the only way we can protect it is with two valuable documents. The Holy Bible, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. You need nothing else, Bahamians. We can solve all of our problems. I believe I have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
You say, brother Professor?
Hey, what's happening, man?
On the radio, right here on the road, I say, once you're on, if I get a chance, I can call you.
But I appreciate that. Now, I can be calling on the people because I want some solutions to these problems now. Now, I asked the constituents July the 8th of last year. I mentioned three specific things. Number one, give Professor 18 months to solve one major constituency problem that they choose out of their own constituency. Number two, give me a righteous team to work with. Because scripture tells me when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. We have to call on the Bahamian people in that particular constituency to support it. And I wanted to be successful. And once you get righteous people in there, you're straight for life. Number three, 51% or more of them living in that particular constituency must become righteous in their dealings one with another. Then the constituency is headed for progress. Those are the three steps. Because when you solve a problem, you need the constituents to make sure it doesn't raise wicked, ugly head again, which simply means they have to change their behavior to become righteous, 51% or more. And it must continue that way until Christ comes back, because we got to protect this Constitution, Bahamians. That's all you have. You lose this, like in some other places, in Sudan and them other funny places, we will not have a country. Go ahead, caller.
Well, you're right on that, Professor.
Yeah.
And the thing with it, the Bahamian people, them just sitting down, relax.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't know much people that, listen to me, Loudy, Professor.
Yes, sir.
If we had a lot of problems in this country, you would see these talk show where Professor, your phone have been, I thought you would not have a chance to get on this radio, Professor, every radio.
Yes.
But the Bahamian people, them see, you have to realize it, Professor. They make it, they only worry when the kids, them finishing school, they worry with the little mortgage, this and that and all that. But they ain't realize when they reach a certain age and they got to get back into the system and they didn't fix the system.
Yes.
Then you see them around national insurance. I see playing them around national insurance, mumbling.
That is true, yeah.
Oh, this, mumbling that, oh, the hospital, this. But when they had a chance to fix it because they making a little bit of money. Now, see, one thing for black people, you give them 1 cent over on their paycheck and they relax.
Yeah.
Oh, they can save up to go to Miami and everything. But when you see they get back into the system, when the table turning on them, man, they must more. You see they mouth way down the corner.
Yes.
And they don't realize this. I mean, I'm Professor. They ain't realize right now this country the way you say 52.
52 years.
52 years, Professor me, maybe years so we. Definitely it was better. Someone tell me it was better when we had horse in garage.
Yeah, it was.
It was very better
about those
then.
days. Yes, it was.
Professor, NHI, National Insurance, from they get digital, from they go on and digital and change the system around, they get voice. Because you can't get your money on time. You got to be waiting months and months. Now they're taking your money out, Professor, almost 8-9 years thing. I mean, I 46.
Right.
I ain't gonna ask for National Insurance for a long time and that. You can tell me my money, what I save, they take from me every 2 weeks or every week.
Yes.
I can't, you tell me I got to wait 3-4 months to get that?
No, you shouldn't.
I mean, it one time ago, National Insurance, you could get your money them and everything on one early. But now,
yes.
What you had to go through? Professor, I don't know.
Because you have too many strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders eating up our national insurance money.
You're right. Listen to me, good
The
Professor.
government of Bahamas need to fix it.
Not to cut you off, Professor, but you wouldn't believe that NHI, that doctor, that when you go and get it, the doctor, the NHI plan they have. You don't believe. When I went inside, because my place is Montague.
Okay.
When I went in there, someone told me, say, you know what? Well, you better make sure your family in there because they, you tell me? The foreigners using the NHI, the Bahamian people slunking on NHI. They ain't signing. Professor, you know what Bahamian ain't signing up on the NHI? He told me must be 60% of foreigners using NHI in our country.
Okay.
So you think that's right now?
I have seen a particular personality, which I know of. I won't call the name of the particular individual, where the particular personality was called on to have that individual checked, where the medical people called, and that particular individual turned the appointment down. See, there are some who are complaining about the healthcare professionals, but the real problem is with the patient. Now, I know of this myself personally. We have people like that. They talk bad about the nurses, they talk bad about the doctors, they talk bad about the clinics. And the nurse made that call to that particular personality. And I believe it was supposed to be today. And that particular personality turned it down. And that particular individual has a health problem, a very serious health problem. Yeah, but I tell you, not today. What do you mean not today? What kind of crap is that?
Boy, oh boy.
But yet they're the same kind of people who complain and castigate the nurses and the doctors and so on. But I got to go see my healthcare professional too.
Yeah, but I go on time. I use NHI and then I use for work insurance. But
yes.
But Professor, because we it's right there, but then you can't let the foreigners.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
We paying on they see with ambulance now they paying the NHI, but then they're supposed to separate that.
They're supposed to separate them, yes.
They don't need it because they pay NHI. That don't right now, Professor. I told because every time I come across people who ain't set up on that yet, I force them to go set up, to go sign up. And Professor, it's so hard to find a facility or a healthcare to register. Everything is eat right out. You can't hardly find a doctor. If you go to NHI right now, Professor, they ask you where you want to go. Every place book right out. They might even overbook people out. That's how serious it is in this country. So they need to take some of them people off who only here visiting, who only here for time being, and then do a different plan for them where they have to pay the extra.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but you can't do no other way in no other country or nothing.
No, they can't.
You understand where I come from?
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on, Professor. We don't have nothing to lose. Professor, from you come out your house to go to work, you dodging. You reach the work to get start seeing your mouth getting long because you get ducking. You're almost running the people's car because you're trying to dodge these holes.
Yes.
This and that, these people are dodging holes almost running into you. I mean, every day what's going on in this country, Professor, and whether it be with Professor, the Bahamian people sitting down, they only waiting for the T-shirt them to come out now and the hot dog to grill them to line up and out.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
That's what they waiting on, and then when you see election over, they after all the T-shirt can wear out, they can start washing car with the T-shirt and everything now. They ain't got nothing else to put on. Now they mug long, they will go into the system now to try to go and get national insurance and trying to get social service thing and all that. They're going to try to fix the system right now.
You got to fix it, yes.
And they don't understand that, man. And that's why the kids, Professor, that's why we have so much of these young kids coming. We have young kids coming to school now, nowhere to go.
Yes.
And they looking at me and you and Professor. When we go, Professor, we have to go and watch over when we go to the shop because they looking at us. We easy pray to get robbed. That's the only thing there for them to do.
Yes. Now, I agree with all your sentiments.
But I tell you that, Professor, boy, I tell you what's going on in this road. It's a serious time, Professor. We have to wake up.
No, very serious.
And we have to wake up and smell the coffee because we don't know how long we can live. Some people, them think they can die now. God may let you live to see 80 and 90 and you don't fix the system. Be right there suffering. And then the children them have to put you in the old folks' home. Because you didn't set the plan up. You didn't plan nothing for them. So when they get their money, they can take care of you. That's the deal is when you had your kids, you know.
Yes, that's correct.
You set them up so they can take care of you.
Yes.
Some of them say, oh, I ain't want them to take care of me. I can set them, all right then. When you job, when you get reach up, when you get to 65 and your pension, getting your little pension money and everything and all that, and then you get a little stroke in there, this and that, and you don't fix the system, you see what's going to happen. Your kids, some could still try and come and get that money off you because they know you have a stroke and what they can do. They can't, they don't want to clean you up, they don't want to clean you up. So they put you in the old folks home.
Yes. Caller, you 100% on everything that you just said. So that is why I am going to work and I'm going to appeal to Bahamian people because the Constitution tells me I cannot do it by myself. I'm going to do it constitutionally. And I'm telling them right now, if you don't know what to do, you can't sit on your backside, say, you ain't going to do nothing. Because there's a way out, Bahamians. That's why ask. If you don't understand, you ask.
That's correct.
And ask someone who knows what to do.
Well, Professor, I have something to say before I go.
Yeah, go ahead.
If they would be a fool to put this government back in, give them a next chance.
But I am telling the Bahamian people elected right now, those who've been deceiving you for the last 52 years, it doesn't make any sense.
No sense.
Giving them more authority. Because all you did for the 52 years is give them massive landslide of seats.
I'm telling you.
And nothing has changed for the masses. Nothing.
Nothing, Professor.
Well, that's the answer right there.
Nothing.
Now, there are alternatives because someone say, Professor, what are the alternatives? Well, I can tell you all what the alternatives are. From the Constitution, from the Holy Scriptures. That's where the answer is, Bahamians.
Yeah.
They've always been in the Constitution, always in the Holy Scriptures. The Constitution is always right. It is never, ever wrong. The Holy Scriptures is always right. It is never, ever wrong. So why you want to fool around with this crap from these other people? They have already proven to you who they really are.
Over and over and over and over.
52 years of crap, man.
Over and over, man.
But how much more you want to take? You want to go for another 52?
90 years old. Some of these old people. So how much more? Professor, if you've been getting bamboozled all your life, what you have to lose, Professor, what you have to lose if you put someone else who you, even if you think they can do good, but at least we know if we get jammed, we didn't know. But if you put someone in, you know you can get jammed, Professor. What type of sickness that is? What type
that's insanity right there.
Man, that's why you think the silence supposed to be in quiet right now because the whole half the country need to go to silence.
When I heard the talk show host appealing on another radio station and told his audience, listen, give righteousness a chance. I was delighted when I heard him say that. Because that's the answer. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous in authority, he say you want the people rejoicing, give righteousness a chance. Not people who say they want a chance. No. You got to know who you're dealing with. Do you know whether that person is a homosexual? Do you know whether that person is a lesbian? Do you know whether that person is a criminal? Do you know whether that person is a perverted personality? Come on, Bahamians.
That's true.
You don't need those kind of wicked people running your country.
No, you don't need
you don't need them to be no representative in the House of Assembly and in the Senate. I think my producer tells me I got another call.
Yeah. Well, I can talk a bit about
yeah, man. So, but now don't forget now to call me. Of course, call me so we could talk off here, man.
All right, no problem.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. That was a good call. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you still there?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I got Ali.
Hey, I didn't hear you either.
Yeah, Mr. Thompson. Yeah, I got a solution for you, but your problem that like your case not being brought before the court in time to basically clear the voters register before this general election.
Well, let me give you a word of advice, and I'm glad you brought it up. This case is to be heard either May or June.
Has to be before the general election. But what you need to do is not a solution.
Uh-huh.
You need to go before the court and do an injunction to stop the election until they get cleared up, because there ain't no way in the Bahamas we supposed to have so many persons who were not Bahamians, who even supposed to be on the list, on the list, and the government knowing what it is, and a part of the problem, they perpetuate it. FNM, PLP, same thing. And I mean, the solution basically is to do an injunction, put that Fred Smith move on the government. Because you know what? If the patient could put an injunction in the court, knowing that their situation is totally illegal, and the court stand up and stop all processes in the favor of patients, right?
Yes.
As a Bahamian, you should go to the court and do an injunction and stop the election, because that's the only way the court will go and push that case to make it happen. Other than that, you'll bleed years.
Okay.
Trust me, you'll never hear it.
Caller, I am not going to say anything against what you just said.
Honestly.
But we have an understanding. Now, this is what my advisor gave to me. So this is what I can make public. April, May, or June. Now, April done finish. We will have to have our case start either May or June.
This is what I'm saying. You looking and hoping and praying, man.
Why don't you listen to me, caller? Did you hear what I just tell you?
Yeah, I hear you, you know.
Okay, but then, exactly what you're saying. Yeah, but then that's what we have now. We are watching this very closely, you know. Yeah, that's why I gave, hold on, caller. That's why I gave the case number to the public.
Yeah, you could give it to the public, right? But then, as a person right up in it, and persons who are affiliated with the 5 or 6 persons who are pushing it, right? Even the Mr. Hudson Moultrie, right? Go to the court and do an injunction, man. This election don't mean nothing. Because if the PLP are going to get it, still the same thing.
Caller.
Go and do an injunction and think if it takes a couple of months, cool. But we have to get that registered clear, because they're looking to go have an election with the same voters register from 3 years ago. You was in paper card, they were done rotten.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate what you just said. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Professor.
Yes, ma'am. I just wish.
I have 2 questions.
I just wish people would learn to listen, you know.
Professor,
but people just don't like to listen. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your 2 questions.
Okay, my first question is, what does the Constitution say about the voter registration? And how do we get for it to be cleaned up? And then my next question is, in reference to, I see where the government has bought these nurses from this African nation.
Yes.
Now, my question to you is, do you know if when they come here, whether they come from Cuba or wherever, do they bring their families with them as well? Because
that's an excellent question.
I'm understanding that the government pays to house them.
Yes.
So are they coming as a single nurse, or do they get to bring their husbands and children? Do you know?
Caller, you asked a very good question. Now, I don't have all the details. I got to check with my team. And because, see, I keep trying to get people to understand there are so many things and avenues you have to look at. You got to get the factual information. You asked an excellent question. Now, the first one, I have to caution myself on that. I have to triple and double check before I answer that one. But let me say this. You asked very good questions, and I'm going to ask my team to assist me in being able to give you the right answer. But what I was trying to tell the caller before you called in, we had been informed, and my chief advisor, say I got to go by what the chief advisor tells me. And that's what I make public, because I don't want any foolishness and no nonsense. We were informed our case would start either April, May, or June. Now, only you got May and June. And I am saying we want to prevail upon the Chief Justice to begin the case, to put it before the court. We want action. This ain't going before no election. It's going before, not after the election, but before the election. May, June. That's the starting time. Now, I am not sure the exact date. I have to get that from the team, and then I'll be able to announce it. That's why I told you people to call the Chief Justice man, prevail upon him. What do they think I was putting the case number out there for? The Bahamian people have to become involved if they want to see change. I told them if I wanted a constitutional rally, I told them, listen, 50,000 and up. Otherwise, you're talking foolishness and nonsense. You hear what I'm saying, caller?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. See,
Yes.
there are things we have to do. If you were to ask me right now whether the people are ready for some real hardcore constitutional action, no, they're not. Let me say that right off the top. Because I don't want nobody talking no foolishness in my head. You think I don't know these people? I know when the Bahamian people are ready for something. We are not ready for a mass constitutional rally. You need 50,000 and up to attend a rally. Are we ready for that? Tell them stop talking foolishness and nonsense. I was trying to get the caller to understand. Listen, we were informed. April is now finished. We got May and June. Now I have to speak with my advisor and see what he says, whether the date has been pinned down. That's why I asked the people to call the Chief Justice man. Now he's saying something. I'm not going to knock what he said. I'll just let that rest on the side for the time. We got to take this one step at a time, man. We have to do things decently and in order. Let's give the man a chance. He's Chief Justice. We'll appeal to him. And there are some other avenues we can do while we are appealing to him. Do the people understand that?
Yes.
He needs to understand the persons who signed those documents February the 14th, those 7 patriots. They did it not for themselves, Bahamians. See, y'all got to stop talking foolishness, you know. That's what's get me angry sometimes. It was done on behalf of the Bahamian people because too many of you sat on your backsides grumbling and complaining, but you didn't take any action. For the first time in Bahamian history, 7 Bahamian citizens decided, you know something? We're going to take action against the government. It's never been done before, ma'am. But we are appealing for the support of the masses, man. What are you talking about them 6 or 7 people who put the thing in there? You see, that's the thinking that has kept us back for the last 52 years, man. There's nothing personal about this. This is the national interest of the Bahamian people according to the Constitution. I see they didn't even know the Constitution. Caller, let me stop because I can let you finish.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I want to find out how these people are housed in the country and who all they bring with them.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. We're going to go and get the details on that. And then I will make it public on the radio. We're going to make it public what the Chief Justice says to us. He'll come and tell you. Mm-hmm. Because this ain't no deep secret.
I want to know that because our nurses are complaining, our Bahamian nurses.
Yes.
Are complaining about the treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
That they're getting from our government.
And you heard the response from the Minister Pia Global, I think her name is.
Mm-hmm.
The answers were vague. What she said was vague. They got their letter the next day. What the heck was in the friggin' letter? We don't know what the details are. Did they get their money? Yes, the day after. You see, these things are missing. You have my address. I live Ajax Street. You know I live Ajax Street.
One of the other things we need to do, I call the Supreme Court every day.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want the Bahamian people to know the number to the Supreme Court is 397 1800.
Mr. Producer, write that down. 397-1800. Mr. Producer, write that
Yes.
down for me, please. 397-1800. That's very good.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that's the number they call. And if everybody who calls in make that call every day,
Yes, ma'am.
at least we're trying to get something done.
Well, of course. You're correct, caller. Because we have to move on it. We have to move on it quickly, man. Because time is the essence.
We have to get this done. And that's infuriates me more. That every week, every day you look at that Nassau Guardian. All of these people who continue, but they want to be naturalized or asking for citizenship.
Yes.
And you know something, Mr. Professor?
Yes, ma'am.
Even the United States will tell you how much people they will allow in their country each year.
Yes, ma'am. And it doesn't seem
You
as if we have a
understand?
quota here.
And it seems that the Bahamas has no quota as small of a country as we are.
That's correct. You're
No
quite right.
quota.
Yes, ma'am.
No cutoff.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can tell you, with Mr. Sayers and Louis Georges, of all people,
yes, ma'am,
a Haitian man advising our government on immigration matters.
That's very sad.
And for him to be traveling around with Mr. Sayers to all of these different islands, relocating their people all over the Bahamas now.
Yes, ma'am.
They're not just in Abaco like they used to be.
Yes.
I mean, they're in Harbour Island, they're all over Eleuthera, all over Andros.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, they're everywhere.
Okay, caller, I hear the music in the background. My producer is telling me I need to stop.
Thank
He
you,
wants to
Professor.
go to a break.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your contribution. This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. We had some very good calls today, and I understood what the other callers said about the injunction. I have to make sure when I give you information, I have accurate and precise information from the team. Okay? I don't want to say anything that I am not 100% certain of. But I do know we have May and we got June. I want the court to act. This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. Write the number down. I want you to write it down. Put it in a safe place. So when you call the Supreme Court, I think it's the number is 327, Mr. Producer, 327-1800. Yes, 327-1800. We'll announce the number of the Supreme Court as well. But I'll announce 397-1800. It's the Supreme Court number, but we want to give you the case number. All right? And every time you call them, you give them the case number. And let's see what information we can get from the Chief Justice, Sir Ian Winder. I think some people get a little carried away. One of the callers got carried away, and I asked him, why don't you learn to listen? Anything you hear from Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson is accurate, 100% accurate. I don't believe in giving out misleading information. If I am not sure, and the caller asks two very important questions, I have to get the answers, Bahamians. I have to check with my team. I got to check the sources so we can give you accurate and precise information. Now I can tell you what I know I want to do. But I think before I get into that, I'm going to play this tape from Minister Wayne Monroe. He had some remarks that he made. We want to cover that in the show today. Mr. Producer, put the tape on, please.
Weeks, we have seen a sharp increase in AI-generated content, which are highly realistic videos and audio clips using artificial intelligence to impersonate public figures in the Bahamas. These videos aren't harmless tricks. They are being used to carry out financial scams, targeting unsuspected citizens with false promises and fraudulent schemes. These videos are fake. I repeat, do not act on it. Do not forward it to your friends and family. Do not deposit money. Simply do not trust it. You must stop, question it, and seek to verify it. And you can do that by checking official government platforms, and if necessary, go old school, make a call.
Mr. Minister, I appreciate the information you gave, but I want the government to be upfront and honest with us when we ask for information. Because I'll be calling you for information, Mr. Minister, not only you, but some others in there. So I can get, hold on, caller, don't go nowhere yet, please. Let me make this point. So I can disseminate accurate and precise information about this matter that you spoke to. But I'll come back to it. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller,
hello, Professor. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Professor, I was on the line. You guys played every night. Come off, man. I didn't get to hear that good. Okay, Professor, what I was calling to say about our Constitution. Professor, I have a good friend, right? She was better. She retired at the library. But Professor, when I did some research, man, get someone, go there and get everything. The foreign minister, Mr. Brent Summitt, and his can as what he was, immigration officer. What? Not that. I mean, you know what I mean.
Immigration minister.
Yes, get all of his stuff. I been there. My good friend, retired now. Professor, you might don't know how to go to court because someone run him hot. I keep saying this. Someone run him hot, and he write on long piece in the newspaper. I throw it up aloft. I can't find it. Professor, someone need to find that. You need to see that.
Which newspaper? Which newspaper it was?
Well, I got to get the book because just my girls do them. She just clip them out. Professor, they just clip them out. They just clip them out.
Well, see if you can find out which newspaper.
Oh, I can do that. Okay, I'll have to get it. I have to get it. I'll do the research again.
Yeah, just call the station if I'm not here and leave the information.
She clip a document. Someone run that man hot. When he was the immigration minister, and boy, he grabbed. I think he must be a lawyer. Boy, he put something out there. I see that. I say, what is it? This is some awesome piece he put out there. Professor, okay. I'm going to get it. Professor, okay, my contribution today, listen, to save this country on people making foolishness law. Professor, I know how we do it. And the Queen have
how you see our parliament, our speaker, the queen have a little bench there for her man, her woman or man to make sure nobody touch the whatever the queen law is. And I didn't understand it. That's what we call the Senate. We need to make sure people in the Senate don't mind all them books in there. You all know the Constitution. We don't have to work this hard. Everybody making all kind of foolishness. When you look at these things, they are not constitutionally sound. How you gonna sit right there and let these things come out under the public and these things are not constitution?
No, I agree with you, but caller, the point is the Senate is the upper house, right? The Senate has rubber stamped every piece of crap coming out of Parliament. Do you know that? Every single law that has gone through the House of Assembly came right to the Senate, and all they did was rubber stamp everything.
I mean, and all they done one time ago,
like
they had lawyers in there.
Yeah, you did have lawyers. I agree with you. But now what is happening is everything has been rubber stamped by the Senate. The people who sit there now, they don't give a rat foot.
They don't know that. You know how to square the country. Just put people in the high position. I want to say
the upper house.
You're supposed to be senior people.
Yes,
check and see if it's constitutionally sound.
Yes, that is true. I agree with that. But they're supposed to correct the errors in the lower legislation when they pass it up to them. Examine it.
Send it back.
You send it right back to them.
That ain't constitution.
But the point is, what they're passing is not constitutionally sound. They're just rubber stamping every piece of crap.
Foolishness. What you there for? Getting that money, getting all the name on the crown. I can't get no crown land. What you there for? What are you there for? First, I can leave it right there. Go on. I can do that research then.
Yeah, please do. And thank you very much. Yeah, we appreciate that call that came in. He mentioned, I think we have another call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there? I don't hear the caller, Mr. Producer. Okay, well, we'll move on. The lines are open 3260271, 3260272, 8130-271. And we have a lot of problems in this country, Bahamians. We have to do something to save the place. We need you as citizens of this country to stand behind the issues that affect us. There are some who will be in the forefront, like I am and others. There will be those who have to give their strong support, financial and otherwise, to make sure that we get this place sorted out. Like I said, there are two books, two sources of information, the Holy Bible and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now, I did tell you I have some specific things I'll be calling on you to do, Bahamians. First, of course, we need your support for the radio show. Consistently, Bahamians. So I can always keep my voice here on this radio station. That is very important. And all you have to do is send me an email, Sidney M. Thompson. No, that's a different one. Let me give you the other one. The State of the Nation, 242 @gmail.com. The State of the Nation, 242 @gmail.com. And that's the email you can use, or you can call me directly at National Affairs, 325-8652. 325-8652, or you can call me at the radio station and leave a message, your name and your number and your contact, and I will be able to deal with it in that way. Or you may want to send me a letter through the post, P.O. Box N9049. Those who like to write, you could do that. I'll get it through the post N9049. And we will see how we can deal with it. But Bahamians, we're going to call on you to need your strong support. It cannot go any other way. Article 24.1 says very plainly, you to organize yourselves for the protection of your interest. The word interest in that phrase at the bottom of Article 24.1 is plural. There's more than one interest. The constitutional issue is just one. We got plenty other issues, and not a living one of you out there decided to take action on it. Those are single fathers who got a ruling in the Privy Council. They haven't even acted on the ruling. They haven't done nothing with it. They don't even understand the value of that ruling in their favor. They're just as dead as a doornail. That means it doesn't make any sense. They don't even understand the value of that victory. And they've done nothing about it. They're still sitting right there in the dark as if nothing happened. But see, those of us with this constitution issue, we just happen to know better as we do our homework. And when you have a ruling in your favor, you don't just sit on it, Bahamians, and go to sleep. You got to take action, because when the ruling comes down, that's when the work really starts. You've got to protect this constitution right on up to the day Christ returns if you want to save this country. It's an ongoing process. Protection of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, not some party document. I heard someone was on the air talking about the Constitution. And then I got the understanding that they were talking about party constitution. Now, political parties have their constitutions. Nothing wrong with that. That's nothing to do with the national constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, which is not a party document. It is a national document. You can unite every living soul under the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But you can't unite them under party document. Some like this party, some like that party, just like the people in St. Barnabas Church. They all go to St. Barnabas Church, but they work at different jobs. And it's applicable to any other church where members go. The only thing that can pull the Bahamian people together is the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. I think Mr. Medusa is saying, Medusa, we have another caller, right? Oh, you have? Oh, okay, all right. I misunderstood. Brother Hyla, I understand you on StreamYard. I didn't quite get the message, but Medusa had to make sure I understand. Welcome to Global Radio 99.5 FM. Go ahead, Brother Hyla.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bahamas.
Yeah.
Professor, it was just yesterday. I was listening to the whole show today.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking really of yesterday. We were speaking of labor.
Yes, we were.
You know, the conversation concerning the nurses, and I heard it brought up again today, the nurses and their plight, and then the Ghanaian nurses that were brought in.
I'm not hearing you, Brother Hyla. You're fading out.
Okay. I'll speak a little loud. I'm on the road, actually.
That's better. That's a little better.
Okay, very good. Professor, there's another labor matter on the front pages of the newspaper today. They are saying, and you would have heard that on Great Stirrup Key, there were three Bahamians working for the cruise line that was suddenly terminated. You know, details are just coming in, but just to read the headline, Professor, it says, heads to roll at the highest level over this matter. And this is our government responding to Norwegian Cruise Line terminating 3 senior staff. And they're saying that they're going to deal with this matter with urgency. So do they have labor protection? Do they have a union leader or a union that would protect their rights? You know, and we always get this strong language. We always get this strong talk, as you say. Heads to roll. It sounds good. The print is bold, big and bold, spread across the Tribune newspaper.
Okay, all right. Now let's slow down a little bit for me so I can understand what you're saying. These people work where?
They work on Great Stirrup Key
Okay.
for Norwegian cruise line, because they have the private island.
Yes. Okay.
But
What do
normally,
they?
if you have a labor dispute, especially with senior staff,
Yes.
you would file a complaint. There's a certain procedure or protocol that you follow.
So, do we know what union is represented here, or what union they are part of? Is there any
No, it
indication
doesn't.
in the
It
article?
doesn't indicate which union.
Okay.
And this,
So the understanding is, slow down a bit for me because I want to make sure I
okay,
understand. They work on the key, Great Stirrup
yes,
Key,
Great
and
Stirrup Key.
they work at they have a hotel there or some sort of luxury resort. Is that the
Yeah,
understanding?
it's a private island. It's a private concern. It's a private business belonging to Norwegian Cruise Line.
So let me see if okay, they bring the cruise ship into Stirrup Key.
Yes.
Okay, all right, all right. Now I
And
have a little bit more clarity on it. Okay, go ahead.
now, what is so interesting about this? You know how we are always saying speak up and speak out?
Yes.
So I can report that the staff is claiming that key managers were fired for speaking out.
Now stop right there. So you made a
Uh-huh.
statement. The staff is complaining. Do we
Yes.
have any? Is this management staff complaining or top
Well,
person
I
they're
will,
complaining?
yeah, it's the staff that are speaking up on behalf of the managers. And that is interesting to me because normally if you have a bad manager, the staff is not going to back you up, eh?
I'm listening. Yeah, I guess so.
So it seems like the managers were looking out for the staff and possibly speaking up on certain conditions that they find, you know, inappropriate. I can give you a few more words out of the article, but for now, we see that some of the persons that would have called you, Professor, said that some people may not be speaking up because of the response, whether it's from the government or whether it's from the company that they work for.
Okay.
It was suggested that some people don't speak up uh, because of the backlash.
Okay.
And when
Yes.
I'm not pointing any fingers at government. Government is saying that they are going to address the matter with urgency, and they've
Who in
said that they are
government?
planning a trip to fly out to Great Stirrup Key.
Who in government has said this? Did the article specifically identify which
Yes,
department in government? Could you
Howard
speak a little
Thompson.
louder? Because you're fading out again.
Okay, Howard Thompson is the person responding to the complaint, and he would have
Howard Thompson.
responsibility in the government, in the Bahamian government, over labor matters.
Oh, he's from the Department of Labor. Is that the understanding? Howard Thompson
That
with the
yes,
Department of Labor.
that's the understanding.
Okay, all right. Okay, you can go on. I'm just trying to put these pieces together so I could have an understanding. What are the numbers like? We have any information on the numbers of people working at Great Stirrup Key?
Actually, I don't.
Okay,
We
all
could look
right.
further into it for tomorrow. We'll have
Yeah.
some numbers for tomorrow. God spare
No,
life.
that's fine. I just wondered if you had it handy, but if you don't have it handy, we could move
Yeah,
on. We don't have to look for that right now. So the fact
yeah,
is, these are top management people who have been fired
yes.
by the airline, by the
Up
cruise ship.
by the cruise ship, and they're saying
Okay. Up to
up to
three of them.
three of them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to wonder about which labor union they're involved with. I guess that's not in the article either, because that's what's coming to my mind now.
Yes. Well, you would expect immediate action from whatever labor union they're a part of, you would
Okay.
expect that that is going to follow next.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine then. Okay. All right.
We'll wait to see.
Now,
We'll have to wait to see.
so this, you say there was this big headline, heads, what did it say? Heads will
It
roll?
says heads to roll at the
Oh, to
highest
roll
level.
at the
Yes,
highest level.
yes.
This is the heading on the article now.
This is the heading. This is the front page of the
Okay.
newspaper.
Now read the first sentence under that heading. Give me the first sentence under that heading.
Okay. It says heads to roll at the highest level. Then it says the government's labor director yesterday revealed he has called for heads to roll at the highest level on a cruise line's private Bahamian island
Okay.
because of claims that several senior staff were terminated.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's clear to me. You ain't got to say no more on that one. I understand where you're coming from now. See,
Yeah.
these are the kind of things we got to be careful when we set up
Yes.
these
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
situations where you're giving these cruise lines this kind of authority in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. They become a nation unto themselves. And the question has to be asked, are we able and capable of managing all of this nonsense that we allow in this country by these companies doing things in different islands throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? Do we have the kind of strength to sufficiently monitor what's going on, or do we wait until there's a problem, a major problem or major catastrophe before we do anything? I don't know if you want to hold on, Mr. Hyler, if you can hold on, because we have to go to a break. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. The lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Bahamians, we got all kind of problems in this place. We got to fix them. You got to help your government to fix them, Bahamians. This is nothing to be playing with. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
We know you need it, so we're doing it. Get ready. Make those reservations or purchase those gift certificates for Spa Week at Windermere Day Spa and Salons, April 22nd through 25th. First, let's talk about the 30-minute stress relief massage, body pop, or a revitalizer facial, all of just $60 each. Ooh. And the 50-minute Swedish massage is just $88. And a 50-minute deep tissue massage, $99. April 22nd through 25th. Spa Week at Windermere Day Spa and Salons is just what you need. Email or call now to reserve or purchase your gift certificate. Windermere@gussiemay.org or call Harbor Bay at 393-8788 or 393-0033 or Caves Village at 327-6135 or 6.
Do you love fresh flowers at low prices? If so, come into Pedal Pusher's Elegant Florist, your event planner. We can't wait to help you with that perfect bouquet or basket for that special person, or book us for your significant life event. We specialize in decorating yachts, weddings, proms, funeral events, and so much more. Create that smile by visiting us on Bay Street, opposite the old Hotel Corona, or call us at 326-2663 and place your order today.
Mira's Scents and Gifts, formerly Bed and Bath Concepts, is located in the Mall of Marathon. They've got beautiful sheet sets, comforters, blankets, and towels. You will also find the best selection of perfumes, especially those now hard to find ones, like 273, Beverly Hills, Tax, Quorum, One Man Show, Touch, Red Door, Cappuccino, and Lapidus. And there are gift sets, along with ladies' handbags. It's the new Mira's Scents and Gifts. Friendly atmosphere, affordable prices, satisfied customers. Come on in. We're open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. weekdays and 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays. Telephone 393-5958.
Wise Bahamian shoppers know when times are hard and things are tough, it's more sensible and convenient to shop at YCares Fashion Center. YCares has slashed prices on brand name clothing and shoes by up to 50%, including academics, Clarks, Polo, and hundreds of jeans and dicky pants. And as much as 70% on selected items. Choose from a large selection of beds, sheets, rugs, and towels, all at affordable prices. YCares in 3 locations to serve you: Bahama Avenue, Prince Charles, and East Street South near the Sir Charles Hotel. YCares, where you can afford to look good.
East Street to Blue Hill Road. It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Bahamians, every time when I come to do this show, you never know what you might run into on a given day. And sometimes you have to change course, direction which you might have planned to go in. And it's happening again today. But I'm prepared. Anything can happen on a given day. That's what a talk show host must remember to understand. You don't know what you're going to meet when you go. But now we have a problem with a particular company, what is supposed to be owning a private island. And see, we got to be very careful how we open up these islands to strangers, foreigners, aliens, outsiders. And whether we can exercise the kind of control sufficiently that we're able to avoid tragedies before they happen? Or do we wait until tragedy strikes and then it's too late, even for you to do something, because the damage has already been done? We have the general manager at this particular location in Great Stirrup Key, and also the assistant aquatics director. You will hear both of them on the tape, which we're going to play in a moment, complaining about the situations with the Norwegian cruise line in relation to their employment, and how when you speak up and speak out, you find that you get into problems. And of course, our labor laws are very specific and very clear that Bahamians have a right to labor, good labor relations. They have representation on behalf of themselves by their union or whoever the representative may be. They're not to be taken advantage of, because the Constitution is against slavery. No man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone. Do we have slave and bondsman today in our economy? And coming from a stranger? When a stranger is going to enslave you in your own country? What kind of crap is this? And so the government has to be careful of these heads of agreements that they sign. We don't know the kind of crap they've been signing on to. And allow these people to get away with a lot of foolishness and nonsense. And the only time you hear is when your brother or your sister is hurt. And Bahamians, it could be too late. The damage has already been done. How are you going to fix it? Mr. Brucey, you could go ahead and play the tape, please.
Internally, before it could get, you try to resolve the matter internally before it could get out. And you try your utmost best not to be in compliance in a way that you have to show up on the island unannounced and try to cut off everybody who's been speaking up for their rights. Like, it's just so, it's mind-blowing.
Working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, 70 hours work week, but under Bahamian labor law and with our work permits falling as such under Bahamian labor law as well. And
hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays without proper compensation. And then when we reach out to the company, the first communications were back in 2023, and asking if we're going to be retroactively paid for the hours we worked. And then there was no clear answers.
Amy, you heard what those two individuals just said. If once that information is accurate and precise, and I'm inclined to believe what they're saying, It's contrary to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is why I am saying I do not always agree the way how the government goes along in having these people come in here, say they're talking about they're investing, and then taking advantage of people. You have a call, Mr. Producer? Oh, Hal is still on. But Hal, I almost forget about you. But he told me, he reminded me.
Yeah.
But Hal, let me let you get in on this while you're on the line. You heard the comments from the two individuals. Go ahead, Brother Hal.
Yes. Professor, I am hearing something that to me is very chilling. That's the word. It's very chilling. Because I didn't hear any Bahamian accents. I was thinking that these, mind you, they may be Bahamian, They may be Bahamian. And, one or two of the persons that were impacted directly in terms of senior management may be Bahamian. But from what I'm hearing, it seems like they may also be expats that were imported. You hear them speaking of the work permits.
Yes, I did.
And so if that is the case, what may be happening is the expats may have made sure to understand Bahamian labor law, and they may be fighting back in a way that Bahamians don't normally fight for their own rights.
That's a possibility. I can accept that. The law is straight across the board.
Yeah, I'll be listening very closely to this to see how this develops, because my mind goes to sandals. When Bahamians with Bahamian accents first sought to step out and, you could say, strike, work to rule, but industrial action is what you call all of these different motions. But the Bahamian government at the time, when there was the major uproar at Sandals, the Bahamian government told them go back to work. The Bahamian government is in the habit of telling Bahamians, go back to work, go sit down. And we saw it recently when workers were told they would be fined or jailed if they defied a court order for them to return to work. But is it that because of those accents that we were hearing, is the government taking a different position, Professor? Because of the let me not go any further than that.
No. You could go. We have the information in the public domain, Brother Isle. So you can comment on that. You ain't got to stop, because I heard the accents too, I heard it.
Yeah.
That's why I call on you to comment on it. Because the thing is, we got to face harsh reality, what's going on in this country, man.
Yes.
Okay?
So if that's the case.
But it says in the Constitution, no man, woman, or child shall ever have his labor exploited. That's contrary to the Constitution. And if this is happening with those persons, or anybody for that matter, it says no man, woman, or child in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. People have the exact same identical rights under the Constitution. Now, there are some things that apply to Bahamians. That's a different kettle of fish. But when it comes to labor relations, any person, people got to learn to understand what the Constitution says. Any person, they may be expats, it's quite possible, because I heard the accent. They're entitled under the law for that protection. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, Brother Hyde.
Yes, we are being told by the Tribune report of today that one source spoke out under condition of anonymity. They wanted to remain anonymous. They suggested that these firings were retaliation against those who were thought to have spoken out to the Department of Labor. You hear them saying 10 hours a day, Professor?
Yeah, I heard that.
7 days a week?
7 days a week, yeah. That's
A
a lot of time.
70-hour work week.
No, that's way over the time.
That alone is unlawful. So now when you talk about payment now, you know how much they need to be paid for that work week?
Back the 2023, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Yes, she said that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Even if it's $15 an hour or whatnot, you're talking about $1,200, or that could be up to $1,500 a week they are owed.
Yes, that's true.
So we would follow this closely, Professor, because any they call it union busting if there is a formal union. And this is what you keep telling us, Professor. We have a right to organize ourselves for the protection of our interests.
Article 24.1, you're quite right about that. And the unfortunate thing is, Bahamians have not been taking advantage of it. Because I've seen, and like you said, these particular personalities, they have a right to protect their interests. So I'm not going to knock them from that. Bahamians who are here in the Commonwealth of Bahamas, like you said, they're doing something that our Bahamians are not doing. And they have a right to protect their interests. But Bahamians, see, the Bahamians themselves are not protecting their interests. I got to correct the caller when I was trying to explain to him about our case before the Supreme Court, that there are certain steps we are taking. And he's telling us to take some other steps. And I said, okay, thank you.
Professor, let me say a little more to report to the Bahamian family a little bit more about what is going on. Professor, these individuals were not only fired, they were told to pack up their things immediately, and the security came to support to basically to remove them from the property forcibly. And one person is saying here, we expected them to pull this stunt, so whenever the Department of Labor reach or arrive, if they could get them off of the property, there would be nobody to speak up.
Now, I have a problem with that. I have a serious problem with that. See, this is what I keep saying about the government of the Bahamas. Are we able to manage these things in a way that you do not cause undue harm to Bahamians? It doesn't seem as if, see, they come up with all these funny things about heads of agreement with these funny people, man. And they come in here and violate our labor laws. They violate our constitutional laws. What kind of punishment are you going to met out for that? You see what I'm saying? See, the government gets into these heads of agreement. We don't know the heck what they sign on to, right? Because it's not made public.
Okay.
But yet, you have these people coming in here, say they are investors, doing all kind of funny things to the detriment of the Bahamian people. And this is what is the end result. These people will stand still, allow you to write any piece of crap on it. And you say they were trying to forcibly remove them from the property.
This is what is being alleged. Either the company, you have to be very careful when speaking, but this is reported in today's newspaper.
Once you say it is reported that, you don't even have to use the word alleged. You're going by a report in today's Tribune. You give the date, you give the time. This is what is reported that. And you have to use the word alleging because it's a report that you're reading from. Now, whether the report is accurate or precise, well, that's a different kettle of fish. I would assume that the report, the responsible people like the Tribune would have their facts on the issue. Go ahead, Carla.
Yes, sir. So now we are understanding that Bahamian nationals have not been paid for some time. and this is a letter. A letter was sent to the Department of Labor. So the Department of Labor is aware that, first of all, expats are working beyond the Employment Act, which says there's a 40-hour work week. So our Department of Labor was informed that that is being violated. Employees are working beyond the allotted time,
Right.
and then persons are working beyond what their work permit covers. Because, they would issue like a 3-month temporary work permit,
Okay.
and persons end up working for 10 to 12 months without receiving a work permit, and it is just allowed to take place. And then once again, Bahamians are owed back pay, and when they try to speak up for their back pay, they are somehow mistreated, if not fired. But the article doesn't state that, but they appear to be mistreated.
That's at the same stirrup key. That's the same location.
And the same stirrup key. Same stirrup key. Individuals with contracts
Yes.
and not experiencing what the contract calls for.
Okay, that's clear. See, this is why I keep saying that we have to be in a position, the government of the Bahamas has a responsibility to be in a position to monitor what's going on in these islands. And from what I am hearing from you or what is reported in the media, we don't seem to have that capability to do it because we're allowing these companies to come in here and set up shop and doing things that detriment the law, trying to even force people, as is reported, be off the island even before individuals from the Department of Labor can get there. I think that is very, very bad. Very bad. So
the last sentence in the statement, the very last statement, Professor, says employees fear unjust termination or repatriation in some cases, in terms of the expats.
Yeah.
So the Bahamians, I guess some would call organic Bahamians, the true Bahamians, they fear unjust termination, being fired, and then the expats are fearing repatriation.
Okay.
And that is demonstrated by how it has been reported that individuals are basically accosted by security to take them off of the property. So here it is. If this unfolds and it is found to be true, that individuals are not being paid, working beyond the hours that are called for in their contracts, not being regularized according to their contracts, then imagine the attitude that if you speak up, now you have to face security coming to hook you up, to grab you up, and to repatriate you out of the country.
Yes. Yes,
So
very
that
serious matter.
the Constitution speaks to not having our lives frustrated, right?
Yes. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their life frustrated by deprivation.
By deprivation, which is simply having something withheld from you, you being deprived of something that you've worked for.
That is what the article is indicating.
No, this appears very unconstitutional, Professor.
Well, yes, it is. It does appear to be very
It appears so. It appears so.
Yes, yes.
And they have a lack of protection, Professor, despite having raised concerns through formal disputes.
Yes.
There's a lack of protection. And this is what the employees are saying. That's the last of the statement. in today's newspaper.
Well, that is a very important article. I'm delighted that you brought it to the attention of the public. These things keep happening frequently, and if we do not take appropriate action, you got wolves dressed up in sheep clothing. We have plenty of that in this country. And you cannot assume anything. You got some people out there who say give them a chance to govern this place. But you can't be giving people any chance to govern this place. You got to know who it is you're dealing with. Same thing with these fellows who got these private islands. They're a cruise line. They want this, they want that, they want the next thing. You give them everything on a golden platter, and then at the same time, they violate the supreme law of the land. They violate the labor laws of the land. That means we got to take this thing seriously.
Definitely.
It's only a matter of time when you yourself will be directed personally or collectively with others. It's only a matter of time.
Well, Professor, this situation seems very similar to the nurses' situation. The nurses saying that they have not been paid, attempting to speak up and receive their permanent hiring according to their contract.
Yeah.
The situation sounds very similar. So Norwegian Cruise Lines, in this case that just came up today, it sounds just like the situation that the nurses have with the government that came up a few days ago. So I'm just thinking that when the foreign company sees that the government is behaving this way, maybe it emboldens them to feel like they could do the same thing to Bahamians.
That's exactly what I would agree with you on that point. Yes. See, the government of the Bahamas has to be careful of its actions. The only people who can really keep the government in check, those who represent us in the House of Assembly. They have the real power to keep the government there. Now, if they don't do it, Article 24.1 kicks in right off the top. Because, see, in the constituencies, we are supposed to be represented by that particular personality. But if that personality doesn't, whether it's at the union level, the same thing applies. The point is, you have to take appropriate action to protect your interests. Some people just don't care about your interests. You're not supposed to stay there and suffer.
Well, Professor, even though, it's good to hear that the Labor Department is going to respond, but in that article, it was stated that they knew that this was going on for quite some time. But now that things have come to a head, they're ready to jump on the plane and fly out there, with a cape on, like, the superhero that's going to come and save the day. But they were not doing nothing over the past months that this situation came before them to take action. Now that the dirty laundry come out into the public, now that row day come.
Big row.
Now they are responding.
Well, I hear that. Now, whether you get appropriate action to deal with the wrong things that are going on, that's another kettle of fish.
Yes, sir.
You're getting some action, whether that's favorable action in favor of those who have been wrong. You put a question mark to that one. But it seems, Brother Hyler, that every time when something comes up, there's a rowing session. We don't seem to understand. We've got to take preventative measures. You don't know what may happen on a given key at any given time. Something can happen, something can break out. Are we capable of making sure and monitoring these situations that it doesn't happen at all, or you have the possibility of preventing it before it happens. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson, and thank you, Brother Hyla. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Tomorrow is Open Line Friday. We're going to continue this discussion on Open Line Friday because Bahamians, there are many things that are occurring. Of course, you know, the election is supposed to be coming up soon. We're going to be dealing with constitutional issues, and Bahamians, you are going to have to become actively involved to help save your country. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Be safe, Bahamians. Pray, ask God to protect us, because we're going to need all the help we can get. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners